Hi, welcome to Flap, and in this episode we're in the Amamoor State Forest Day Area. The Amamoor State Forest Day Area is about 50 kilometres west of Noosa. It's about an hour's drive thereabouts. It's quite a windy road to get up through here in places and a little bit narrow, so do take your time as you get up through here. There is dirt road as you come closer to the state forest. Most of it's in pretty good, but there's the occasional little sneaky, rather large pothole we discovered as you go through the area, so keep your eyes open and do go slow so you don't damage the car. The Amamoor Day Use Area is quite a pretty little spot. It's a big cleared grassy area. There's a shelter shed here, several tables around the area and a barbecue there as well, so you can cook up your snags for lunchtime. There's a couple of walks which lead from the opposite right side of the road from the day area. The main walk is the Amam walk, as they call it, which is now this is the trick. On the board it says it's 1.5 kilometre walk. The reality of it is when we did it, we found it was probably closer to 2 kilometres and it was going to take you a good hour and a half. Now it's an interesting little walk. They say it's a class 3 walk on the board, and I think the only reason it's meeting that criteria is as you go up to where the cascades are, it's probably not too bad through that area, but once you get past the cascades, and the reality it is, the only way it's getting a class 3 is because it's got a few directional arrows to show you where to go, even though there's a few spots there where you do have to just keep your eyes open and look out for the path. I'd say, and honestly, once you get past the cascades, you're looking at a class 4 walk. You do have to rock hop across the creek several times. There's not a lot of water in the creek when we were here today, so it's quite an easy thing to do. It's not very wide. There's a couple of good, stable, steady boulders that you can use to get across through there. Once you get past about the third creek crossing, you start climbing up the hill. It is a bit of a climb, and it is also a bit of a rock hop too. There's a few loose rocks through there, so once again, take your time, make sure you've got good footwear, and just make sure you've got good footing as you move through some areas, as they do get rather sort of rilly as you walk up through there. Once you get through the top crossing, there's probably about, I can't remember now, 4 or 5 crossings you go through. Once you get across the top crossing, you're going to swing it back to the left-hand side. So you're going to go back across the creek and you're going to start heading up a hill. It's quite a steep hill, and once again, it's quite slippery in places as well. So do be careful as you walk through it. That is a big climb. I would definitely class that as a class 4 climb, but probably about 200 metres long. When you do get to the top of the climb, you'll hit the Diamond Field Lookout. Sarah's not impressed. I think that could have something to do with the climb to get up here. Then as you walk through there, you follow the ridgeline along for about another 100 or 200 metres, and then you'll come out to what looks like the start of a fire trail, and that's the start of the descent back down through the hill again. They'll bring you back out about 100 metres up from the entrance of the walk, and that's where there's a junction where they split. So if you take the right hand side, you go up through the cascades. If you take the left hand side, you come back down the path that we just returned down. There are a couple of little tiny side tracks as you go through, but look, and honestly, stay on the main path, go up to the cascades, have a look there, and unless you particularly want the climb, I'd say come back down again. In terms of birds, there really wasn't anything up there. We didn't see very much at all. We heard a log runner, a couple of brown thornbills, lewins, and that's about basically it for the entire walk. So that wasn't overly exciting, I have to say. When you do come back to the day area, just a little path at the very end of it here, literally just on the end of the grass verge there. It's called the Platypus Walk. It takes you back down a little short path, 10-20 metres at the most, where there's a big water body that sits down through there, which according to the boards, there's meant to be platypus in there. We had a bit of a look, and it's not the place I'd want to live as a platypus, but hey, you never know your luck if you're around the place. The other interesting bit of information that we saw on the board here is that this is where all the macadamias in Australia originally came from, this area. So they show you a map of where there was a strip of the original wild bush macadamias, and this was one of the areas. And in the 1800s, they came here and collected some macadamias, and that started off the more commercial growing of macadamias in this part of the world. So in summary, the Amamoor Day area, look, it's a pretty little spot, nice place to stop and have a bit of a picnic if you're out this way and you're driving through the area. You can go do the walk, but personally I'd go up to the cascades and then come back down again. I'd still leave yourself a good 45 minutes to an hour to do that. If you're going to do the whole walk, be prepared for a rather steep walk and a rather slippery walk in places, so do make sure you wear proper footwear. Look, I'm going to give it a 2, simply because it's just, to me, no birds, steep walk, not a lot up there. That's the way it goes in my books. So until next time, this is Flap, happy birding.